Good morning and welcome to the Killik & Co podcast for the 24th of July. It's been another incredibly busy week for company reporting, and next week will be no different. So we're getting to see whether the trends we've been talking about for a number of months are coming into company numbers and how the share prices are reacting. So some of the big issues in markets are firstly the Chinese slowdown. We saw another number last night confirming the PMI came in below expectations. That's a forward-looking number for the Chinese economy. And we've also continued to see dollar strength over the last couple of weeks, which is that combined with Chinese weakness is putting further pressure on the commodity index, and some of those commodity stocks are now going to new lows. Some of these issues, though, are coming through in second-round effects into some of the other stocks that we follow. Union Pacific announced numbers this week, and they came in slightly below expectations because of coal volumes, which were lower because of the natural gas price, so people aren't transporting as much coal as they previously had. Aberdeen Asset Management saw a number of redemptions in their emerging market funds. That's a factor of the Chinese volatility we've seen. And Harley-Davidson were reducing some of their bright production numbers on the basis that the strong dollar was affecting overseas sales. But our structural growth stories are still continuing to perform very well and justifying their premium valuations. So last night we saw Visa report an 11% increase in their payments volumes and around 36% increase in their earnings. And stock was up quite strongly on the back of that. Amazon also reported last night they saw a 20% increase in group revenues across all their divisions, 80% revenue increase in Amazon Web Services, their cloud-based division. And the guidance for next quarter was also raised quite significantly. So they saw a very big move after hours of up 18%, and that's obviously on the above this level, already elevated level for the share price. So it's been an extremely strong performer, and remarkable that they're still seeing the same gross margin levels as they were in 2010 when volumes were a third of what they are now. So extremely scalable business. Equally, we saw some interesting numbers from Reed Elsevier, or RELX, the new name, and Pearson. Clearly Pearson is in the news this morning, having sold the FT to Nikkei, Japan's largest media company, for £844 million. That's a big event in media. And also we had Vodafone reporting good numbers this morning on the back of significant increases in data usage. We've been talking about this for a number of months with 4G users. So they now have 18.9 million 4G users downloading a lot more data at higher margin. So this confirms the positioning for portfolios broadly. So strong structural growth focus, but balancing that out with some value plays in banks and telecoms in the main. We are continuing to look for opportunities to add to the European exposure to bring down some of that high US weighting. And increasingly we've been looking at the periphery, which looks cheap after the Greek sell-off. So this is a very interesting chart showing the relative performance of the periphery in blue against the MSCI Europe. So the periphery would be Spain, Portugal, Greece, Italy against MSCI Europe. Will obviously include Germany and France in that. And as you can see, it started to stabilize, but on a 10-year basis is still very weak. But what you're also more interestingly seeing at the same time is relative EPS trends are starting to trend up against the core Europe. So Peripheral Europe is now growing its earnings faster than core, yet it's at a substantial discount and is looking rather oversold. So that's an interesting area for doing more work in. The week ahead, as I said, is going to be very busy. In terms of Killik stocks, we got Baidu on Monday. We've got BP, GKN in the UK on Tuesday with Cummins and Merck in the US. On Wednesday, Barclays, Glaxo, Man Group, Compass, all reporting. Whole Foods in the US, and Linde and Volkswagen, Heidelberg Cement in Europe. Thursday, Rolls-Royce, Smith & Nephew, Intercontinental, Royal Dutch Shell, BT, Diageo, Weir Group, all reporting. And then on Friday, BG Group, Lloyds, UBM, Airbus, Amadeus. So lots to keep us busy. So thanks a lot for listening. Have a good weekend.